Hey, so a quick question. What do you think about a woman making the first move in asking a guy out? Yay or nay? Don't go anywhere. We're getting into this for real. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if this is your first time here, I hope you will not break my heart by not liking, engaging by commenting, and subscribing. Like Spike Lee will say, do the right thing. So today I'm coming to you with a very interesting issue. So today we are on the issue on whether it's okay for a woman to make the best move in asking a guy out. Yeah, that. This is actually an ongoing conversation that I haven't really quite gotten clarity on. So I decided to open it up for discussion to draw meaningful conclusions on what the deal is. Because I didn't want today's episode to be about me sitting here boring you with my one-sided opinion, I decided to recruit participants to get a wide range of thoughts and ideas around this topic. So for this, I recruited a good number of young men and women between the ages of 23 to 40 years, living in the UK, Nigeria, and Ghana. Thank you guys for indulging me. And believe me, at the end of this discussion, I was beyond woke from my findings. It just didn't go as one-sided as I had imagined, which made me realize how times have changed and how people are a lot more progressive in their thinking, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong. So from my findings, posing the question around if it's okay for a woman to make the first move with asking men out. For this, 100% of my participants agree that it is okay for a woman to make the first move. But 10%, me included, are of the opinion that while we commend, women who are bold and courageous enough to do this, we would much rather prefer the men to take the initiative. This was a rather interesting one for me. I really enjoyed, having this conversation with different people at the same time and hearing different thoughts around it. And being a Nigerian, and maybe it is an African thing, we grew up, with the idea that a man is the one who makes the first move, a man, pursues and courts a woman, whatever word you can put there. But bottom line, a man makes the first move. But things appear to have changed drastically, and change is good, right? Change is a good thing. So for this, research work I did, apropos research work, I will give you a bit more detail on my findings, which might be useful for some people. So while the idea of women, taking the initiative to ask a guy out appears to be generally accepted, and there also appears to be some hit and misses around how you go about it and what you do in the effect. So 100% of men say that when women approach them, they find it, admirable, endearing. One said, and I quote, "A lady who knows what she wants goes for it." That was an interesting take. Other, thoughts on it where people find it when women approach them, they think it's daring, they think it's courageous. They believe that the woman has a high level of self-esteem. They are bold and confident and generally, considered a strong woman who is not easily fazed by public opinion of what they are, what they do. So a woman with these qualities, according to men, is what they look out for. And so when women, show up with these, qualities, they jump to it and, are accepting of it. But then there's a caveat to it. You know, while this sounds encouraging, for women, I pose the question: what if a girl, you do not fancy as a guy, made a move on you? Would you still consider her, daring and confident, and all of the nice, fancy words you would put in this situation? Now that's a tough one to answer, right? I watched the movie a few days ago, and it gives a clear explanation of what I'm trying to put to you around, approaching a guy, and it just doesn't pan out the way you had hoped it would. So take a look at this.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here, but I think
Not just
this would be really fun to do again next week.
Fair's not gonna be back till...
One guy said that just as, men
fair.
have to deal with rejection from women,
Oh, I just meant coffee
women
or...
also have to develop
movie
thick
or
skin,
something.
to
I'll get
handling
to get popcorn.
rejection. Oh my. Isn't this daunting? To deal with that, one of the popular answers across men was for women, one, to be able to read the situation. Just when you thought it was going to be easy, now we have to also be shrinks to read men, right? But it is what it is. You just don't jump, into the wild, apparently. You need to read the body language. You need to read the guy. Are you getting on in the conversation? Is the conversation one-sided or reciprocated? Do you feel that he's on the same page with you with regards to the likes and all? So bottom line, you just don't go for it if you are not certain that he's into you. It's worse, when you've pumped yourself up. You're like, oh, okay, let me do this, and then you finally go, and then he tells you no. I know, but that's the best advice guys are offering to you ladies out there. If you have to approach a guy, you need to read the situation. You don't just jump to it. You don't just see a guy and you think you fancy the guy and just go for it. No, you need to be, sure that he's on the same page, that he fancies you as well, that he likes you as well. It's going to be difficult, but then there has to be a conversation initiated before you jump for it. So try getting to know the person. Have an ordinary conversation with the person first. See if you guys get on and if he sees you the way you see him before you go for it. Otherwise, if you don't, it just might backfire, and it might not go down the way you wanted it. One lady I spoke to said oftentimes, as much as she finds it, progressive and she agrees with women, making the first move, but oftentimes the things that will hold women back is the fear of rejection. Sadly, many women would love to, but they just fear, the no. People hate the no. People hate the rejection. So it is difficult. And one guy would say, yeah, put yourself now in my shoe and see how we feel when you say no. But I guess it is life. We need to be, be sure that you're reading the situation well, you're reading him well, and you're sure you're on the same page before you go for it. Don't just jump to it. It might not turn out the way you want it to turn out. So for the few other women who would rather the guy took the initiative, you still have a role to play. You're not just going to chill and relax and the guy will just come to you. No, you still have a role to play, and in enabling him to do that. Like one of my friends said, you need to create an enabling environment for the guy to be able to approach you. So for him to come to you, you need to be approachable. Some ladies, someone said ladies don't make it easy for guys to approach them. Oftentimes they give off, attitude and piss you off at the end of the day. But I argue that it is definitely oftentimes a youthful exuberance thing. You most likely see younger women in their 20s who would often show you, some level of attitude, like, hey, I'm not into this. Yeah, who are you talking to? It's not a grown-up thing. So I'm guilty of it as a young girl. Especially if you're coming to me in the midst of my friends. It's terrible to approach a girl in who is within her group to go and single her out of the goal. No, that's daunting. You need to read it well and wait for her to leave the group before you can approach her. So oftentimes people who display some level of attitude and put you off, it's youthful exuberance. And if you look through to see, and it's always either of two things. One, she doesn't like you for real, or two, she thinks you're trying to play with her. Guys, if you know me well, if you would like to be truthful, oftentimes you do things from your friends daring you. Oh, I dare you to go and ask that girl out in the midst of her friends, or I dare you to do this. So oftentimes you're guilty of this. So girls already are aware of this most of the time, and so they put up a protective shield to protect themselves from whatever games you have laid the cards on, so they don't want to fall for the trap of the game. So it's insecurity issues that makes a girl show you give off some level of attitude when you're trying to ask her out, and not necessarily because that's how she's feeling. Most times they like you, but they just don't believe that you would like them, and they would think you're trying to play games with them. So take note of that, guys. It's not every guy, a girl that gives off attitude. There's always something behind that attitude, and it's either those two things I mentioned. They don't like you, or they think you're playing games with them. So that is the case. But for ladies, like I was saying, to be able to create an enabling environment for a guy to come up to you, you need to look or seem or appear approachable. And how can you appear approachable? Start by smiling. Make eye contact, say hi and introduce yourself. Hi, my name is Abasiama, and you are. It's a first start. You can leave it there and allow him to take the initiative from there. If he doesn't, jump out of the scenario. Don't push it further. But either ways, try to relax and be yourself. I know it's such a cliche to say, oh yeah, relax and be yourself. But when you're in the situation, it's very daunting and nerve-wracking. But sometimes it helps, to go out with your friends that bring out the best in you, friends that help you relax, like a wingman that will tell you what to do and how to do. So that could be helpful at times, And someone also said, trying to give a compliment. Oh, nice shirt. Oh, I love your cap. Oh, you're wearing a jersey. You're an Arsenal fan. I'm an Arsenal fan too. Yeah, that could work. I'm not so sure about it, but then there are things you can do to seem approachable, to seem, like you are a friendly person. So, watchword: look friendly, look approachable. Try not to be rude. Even if you don't like a guy, don't be rude. Just engage the conversation, and if he were to ask you out, politely decline. Don't give off attitude. It can be very unappealing. It can be very annoying, to say the least. So it goes both ways, guys, girls. Let's try not to be rude, but let's just, relax and be yourselves and make each other feel good, whether it's a yeah or a rejection. Either ways, try to be nice. So this has been really a really interesting research work for me. So while I am woke on the progressiveness of people's thoughts, I'm still yet to chew on it. So pardon me. But for the women out there, the bold, confident, and daring and courageous women out there who plan to take the bull by the horn, I wish you all the luck. And guys, make it easy for them. But ladies, remember, if you intend to approach someone you fancy, make sure you're certain that he's on the same page with you. Make sure he feels just as you feel before you run into that wow. Otherwise, if you, like me, would rather the guy took the initiative, let's learn how to create an enabling environment for guys. Let's try not to be rude. Let's learn how to smile more and look approachable. I know you. I was talking to my cousin the other time, and we're like, probably when we're walking on the way, we'll be smiling like this. That could turn people off, But either ways, you know what I'm talking about. Just when you're out, either with your friends or alone, just seem and come off as friendly, approachable, smile, make eye contact, engage in conversations, and try not to, jump into your shell. I know it's difficult for people who are shy like myself, or people who are, introverts. It's a lot difficult, but, try your hardest, to not put people off or not be rude in general. So, like the question posed earlier, do you think women making the first move or asking the guy out is not okay? It appears to be generally acceptable. So, good luck to those of you who plan to. And for me, for now, it is goodbye. Have yourself a lovely Friday. Stay safe as usual. Make the right choices and be blessed. Au revoir.